the heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Grizz Nation, Friday night just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today. Look who it is, Brooks Monahan's here. Undefeated, 16-0-3, and now heading into the NCAA tournament undefeated.
I couldn't be prouder of the kids, but if you would have asked me, if we would have been sitting here back in the summer before we started, and you would have said, you're going to go 16-0-3, I would have thought you were, I would have told you were crazy.
You thought this was a rebuild year.
Yeah, I hate using the word rebuild, but yes.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
Jeff Dunham. You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. I see it's still rainy there. That's unfortunate. And I sure hope you listened to me instead of Bennett when we were discussing the Thursday night matchup between your Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings, because I identified that very early on as a great place to snap a losing streak. Bennett expressed skepticism. He was trying to make me nervous about a Thursday night game against the Kings. I've been living long enough. I don't think you ever should be nervous about a Thursday night game against the Kings. Turned out it wasn't an issue at all. The Grizzlies' losing streak is over. They beat them by 41. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, so quickly, let's set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Jessica Benson will join me. She, of course, is the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, weekdays 8 a.m., Grind City Media. She'll pop in studio. I'll talk Grizzlies with her. Jessica Benson will be here in the next segment. Finish talking to her, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers played Purdue tough yesterday in the Bahamas, but still lost on CBS Sports Network. Final score, Purdue 80, Memphis 71. We will talk Tiger basketball in about 40 minutes. Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin will reportedly meet with Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter at some point today, and speculation continues to build about where Kiffin will coach college football next season. I'll give you the latest as we know it on that. We'll do it in just a bit. Baylor athletic director Mack Rhoades has resigned his position at the school. Wild and quick downfall for the former college football chair. I'll tell you more about that a little later on in the show. The Houston Texans beat the Buffalo Bills last night, 23-19. So the Bills are now 7-4. The Chiefs are 5-5. The Ravens are 5-5. Patriots and Broncos have the best records in the NFL. Who could have seen that coming this offseason? We'll talk Thursday night football. We'll do that in the third segment. And Wicked for Good has opened in theaters. Movie buff Bennett seems to be fired up. I'll ask him whether I should see it. and then I'll ask him whether I should see the first one first, because I ain't still seen that one. We're going to do all that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies, because game 16 of a scheduled 82, it was played last night in downtown Memphis. Oh, buddy, we needed that one. My condolences to the Kings. I know you guys are going through it, but so are we, and better you than us. Final score, Grizzlies 137, Kings 96. That equates to a 41-point win inside FedEx Forum. Praise be. Big Bet Bennett, do you have any interest in apologizing for trying to make me nervous about Sacramento? You did your best. I didn't fall for it, but you saw what happened.
No, I mean, I don't have anything to apologize for. The Grizzlies had lost 5 in a row.
Everybody always says that to me.
The Grizzlies have lost 5 in a row coming into that game, so it was any game was going to be scary until you actually get a win and snap that streak. But I didn't, coming in, first off, I said, worry about Zach LaVine because he always scores 20-plus against the Grizzlies. He did that again last night. It did not matter one bit, though. That team, man, I agree. I feel bad for their fan base. I mean, we are not that far removed from, when Ja and Jaren and Desmond Bain are kind of starting to take the league by storm. And remember, the Kings were like one of those up-and-coming teams, too. They were lighting the beam. They were lighting the beam. They had exciting young players in De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Like, they were one of the up-and-comers, too. And it is just completely fallen off for them. Literally 2 minutes after tip-off, you knew that the Grizzlies were going to win that game. You just did. They had no interest. And they were coming off the second night of a back-to-back, but they had no answer for Zach Edey or any of the Grizzlies' bigs. Like, you just knew you had an advantage that you could take advantage of all night.
I'm not going to let you do that.
What do you mean?
You could tell. You just knew 2 minutes after tip-off that the Grizzlies were not going to lose that game. Bennett, I knew it 2 days before tip-off. I tried to tell you, and you kept trying to make me nervous. You were like, the Kings got real players. That's what you said to me. You looked at me with your big beard.
They do have real players.
I told you not to be concerned. It's the Kings. I think my quote was, it's the Kings, not the Spurs.
Yeah, they do have real players.
The Kings are not the Spurs.
It's actually insane. I saw a lot of people pointing that out last night, like people that were not people that were Grizzlies fans or Kings fans, just national media and people that watch the NBA. I saw a ton of people being like, how are the Kings this bad? They have real players on that team. I know they didn't have Sabonis last night, but they have like legitimate NBA players, and they're terrible.
Because when you put on a Kings jersey, you become terrible.
That sucks. I hate that. Like, that's a proud fan base, man. That's on those players, man. That's on those players. That was lame. I would be pissed off today if I was a Kings fan.
Can you imagine losing by 41 points to the team whose best players are hurt and we're fighting with their coach a couple of weeks ago?
No.
Like that's the team that beat. Let Oklahoma City beat us by 41. I could live with that.
Right.
How we go get beat by 41 by the team that was also losing every game it played?
Yeah, no, that's unacceptable. And I think 2GP, we talked a couple weeks ago, there was the report that came out that they're probably close to blowing that thing up. I think when you know that and you're one of those veteran players there, they got a lot of veteran guys in that starting lineup, there's a good chance you might be playing somewhere else this season at some point, and you're just like checked out already.
Of course, all of that plays a role. I say none of this with joy. Like, I don't wish ill on Sacramento or Sacramento's fan base, but that's a sad situation.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Yeah,
to go so quickly from lighting the beams to that. To I guess we're gonna blow it up, and in the meantime, we'll just lose by 41 in Memphis.
Right?
Is like that's rough. That's rough. That's not fun for anybody. So, but it doesn't make what I'm saying untrue. Just because I don't say it with joy doesn't mean I don't say it with confidence. You'd play them every day if you could. You'd play them every day if you could.
We get them again next week. We get to play him again next week.
I can't wait for that. I'm taking the family. It's
in Sacramento. But
we're flying to Sacramento.
That's not the worst idea. That could be a fun trip. You might see a win.
You want your kids to see a win? You want your kids to be happy? We're flying to Sacramento.
Okay, good.
I don't know what. Text Lang and see if he can handle things around here.
Okay.
I'm going to Sacramento. I'm taking my family to Sacramento. We want to be happy. I'm trying to. I don't know that I've ever been the best about it, but I'm trying to raise a happy family. Mm-hmm. We're going to Sacramento. You'd play them every day if you could.
For sure.
I mean, I would take 82 back-to-backs. 82 back-to-backs. I'd play the Kings 82 days in a row.
Okay, be careful. We are coming off 5 straight losses before that win last night.
I'd play them every day.
I'm glad to get a win. I ain't going too crazy over here.
I know that we're trying to figure out how to keep players healthier, and playing backs-to-back seem to be one of the reasons that we can't keep anybody on the court. I understand all of these issues. I watch all the press conferences. I read all the stories. I would play 82 back-to-backs against the Kings right now. That's the best way to turn your franchise around.
I mean, if you give me that or the alternative, I'll take that.
I would let the Kings move in with me if they would play us every day. Like, we have a guest room. They could have it. Move to the greater Memphis area and agree to play us every day. That was so much fun. Playing the Kings is the most fun you can have. There's nothing more enjoyable in basketball these days than playing the Kings, I think.
It was fun.
Unless it's the Mavericks, and we got that coming up.
Yep.
Hey, Vince Williams had a career-high 15 assists. Here's something I thought of last night. You tell me if it's true or not.
Okay.
Vince Williams, best fifth-string point guard in the NBA.
Oh, without question. I mean, I don't
think there's any question.
I
don't even think there's a question. He's the best fifth-string point guard in the NBA.
No, I owe him an apology because he was not playing well to start the season, and I was critical, but I think he was just playing out of position, apparently.
He's been playing out of position his whole life.
I guess that's true. Dude, he has 29 assists over the last 3 games, and it would have been more than that. Job actually played the first 6 minutes of that Cavs game. Vince had to come in and relieve him when he got hurt, so it's probably 30-plus assists over the past 3 games.
It's probably 40 plus. I mean, what are you talking about? Probably 50 plus. Vince Stockton probably got 60 assists if you just keep Ja Morant out of his way.
It's wild. And he came on the post-game radio interview last night with Eric and Elliott, and he's even talking like a point guard. Like, he was like, man, because they were talking about, the 15 assists, man, that's awesome. And he's like, yeah, I wanted to come out with a different game plan. I thought I missed Edey a couple times for some lobs in the last game. I'm like, what? This is our... You're right, man. He is the best fifth string point guard in the NBA. It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah. It's not even a debate. I know you turn on ESPN or FS1, and they're always looking for things to debate. Who's the GOAT? They love that one, don't they? Mm-hmm. Who's the GOAT? By the way, put some respect on Kareem's name. Get him in that conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Stop talking about Michael and LeBron without putting Kareem in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're the best high school player who's ever lived, the best college player who's ever lived, one of the best NBA players who's ever lived, all the rings, all the points, and every time you turn on TV, they're talking about LeBron and Michael, not talking about you. Disrespectful, all right? If you guys want to debate stuff, let Kareem be a part of that debate. They love to debate stuff. There's no debate with who's the best fifth-string point guard in the NBA. That's over. That's over. We got to find something else to talk about.
I don't know if it's more.
That's been settled. Yeah. We have to find something else to talk about because that one's been settled. Yeah. Vince Williams is clearly the best fifth-string point guard in the NBA.
I don't know if it says more about the Kings. I think it does say something about the Kings.
Everything says more about the Kings.
The Grizzlies had a franchise record in assists last night without a point guard. Without a true point guard. Set a franchise record in assists. I think that probably says a little bit about the Kings, but it also says a lot about how well Vince is playing.
I think everything says something about the Kings. I mean, I would play them every day. They could move in with me, all right? They could move in with me.
Yeah.
I'd play them every day. If I could. 82 back-to-backs with the Kings. I can't get enough of those games. I'm taking my family to Sacramento. And we don't even have direct flights. We're going to have to probably fly east to Atlanta to get back west to Sacramento, right? But you tell me I get to watch a 41-point win, have that kind of joy? I just want to be happy. Hey, Cedric Howard touched on this last night, by the way, if we'll get serious for a second. He said, I think for morale purposes, we definitely needed it. We've been working our butts off, man. Coach came in after. He was like, no team deserves this win more than we did. And we went out there and we played like it. I don't mean to oversimplify this, but, in normal people, you feel good when you win and you feel bad when you lose.
Yep.
If you're a competitor, you feel good when you win and you feel bad when you lose. I know this is professional basketball, not 8-year-old baseball, but I see it in my own children when they are competing, whether it's my little guy in a baseball tournament or my middle guy in a golf tournament. They smile more when they're winning. They smile more when they're doing well. When they win, they want to go have lunch and hang out with their friends. When they lose, they seem less excited about doing stuff like that. Again, I don't want to oversimplify it. It's apples and oranges. I gotcha. But just on a very basic level, you feel good when you win and you feel bad when you lose. You smile when you succeed and you don't smile as much when you don't. And that is why you needed that last night.
Yeah.
We can make jokes about the Kings, but the Grizzlies just needed to score more points over a 48-minute span of basketball than their opponent for the first time in a while. And they did that pretty convincingly. And afterwards, whether it was Vince or Cedric or anybody else, you just watch them on the bench. Tomas Isolo, everybody sounded and looked a little better. Everybody sounded and looked a little happier. And that's the type of thing that any win against anybody can do for you.
Yeah, for sure. Ced was great last night. You mentioned him. He was great again. He's obviously continues to be an exciting player that I think has frankly earned the right to be in the starting lineup going forward. And I think we'll probably see that, if I'm being honest, just because of the production you're getting from him. And then I just can't wait to see what it all looks like when you get, and I know, knock on wood, all that stuff. I just can't wait to see what it looks like when you get all these guys back and Edey's a part of that. I mean, he just changes everything for this team. They had zero answer for him last night. You saw it immediately. He probably could have scored 30-some points in that game last night. Now he's still on a minutes restriction, and they frankly didn't need him because they were blowing him out in the whole entire second half. But he's just a difference maker, man. He is a difference maker for this team.
He is making an impact in the first week of his second season in the NBA. And, I hesitate to say things like, just as soon as everybody's healthy, because
I know, I wish I wouldn't have even said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because we're that's never a thing. It's just the quote "everybody is healthy" thing that lasted 5 minutes and 59 seconds. That's where we're at. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that we'll ever see everything as healthy. I mean, history suggests it's I don't know, not a safe bet, but I like you. I can get excited about the idea of John Morant, Jalen Wells, Cedric Coward, Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey. I can get excited about the idea of that with Ty Jerome coming off the bench. I still think you've got the pieces here. If the pieces are available to be a compelling and interesting and yes, good basketball team. But we got to get there.
You've got to get
there. In the meantime, you're still just trying to piece this stuff together. And thank God, the schedule is unfolding now the way it's unfolding now, because next up you get another team that's just, trying to piece things together. Next up, you're in Dallas Saturday night. And so right now the Grizzlies are 5-11. All you got to do is beat the embarrassing Mavericks Saturday night. You're 6-11. And right now they're only one game out of 10th in the West, with 10th in the West representing the postseason. Don't ever forget, if you go back to all the projections in the preseason, most of them had the Grizzlies finishing, in that 7, 8, 9, 10 range, in the play-in range. Despite all of the injuries and all of the losses and all of the fights and suspension and every bad thing that's happened since this thing got started, they're one game out of that with a game against Dallas on tap.
8-13. I told you, would you take 8-13 to start December? And that is very much in play. They can do that. They can do that.
I told you I would murder another man for 8-13, and I don't mean that literally, but you get the point.
Yeah, I'm chasing it. I'm chasing it for sure.
Bennett wants to chase it.
Yeah.
Bennett wants to chase it. All right. I'm
good to get a win.
Now.
Good to get a win.
It's good to get a win. The losing streak is over. Sacramento's, they'll have to figure theirs out on their own. That ain't got nothing to do with me anymore. All right? Y'all gonna have to figure y'all's out on your own. But we figured our losing streak out thanks to you. We appreciate you, Sacramento.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to town. We, it's just like Man, I turn into Kevin Kane every time I hear about the Kings might be coming to town. I want to greet them at the airport. I want to make sure they have a good time. They can't. There's nobody in the world I want coming to Memphis more often than the Sacramento Kings. You guys can't get here. You guys can't get here again fast enough, as far as I'm concerned. I hope you figure your stuff out someday, but I'm glad you didn't last night. Jessica Benson's up next.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
NBA released its new All-Star format. It's USA versus the world, which sounds a little scary for USA.
You very clearly aren't proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I'll get a triple-double from LeBron and a big-time 3 from Steph Curry, and I'll gladly stand up.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Bennett Doyle's back in Memphis producing the program, and right now, I think sitting right beside him is Jessica Benson. She's the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Weekdays 8 a.m. Grind City Media. She joins me on Fridays. Today is Friday. Look at her. I see her now. That's her. Hey, Jessica Benson. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing much better today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful today. I'm not having to deal with that bad. It looks like y'all have gloomy weather down in Memphis, Tennessee.
Super gloomy. I left the game last night and the fog had settled back in.
That was
very
cool.
eerie.
It was fun driving home last night. I felt like it was in a horror movie.
Me too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, it's I won't say it's beautiful here in New York City, but it's not rainy and wet like what you're dealing with. Let me tell you a stupid story that happened to me last night.
Oh, I love stupid stories.
This is a stupid one. So we're getting out of studio. It's around midnight or so,
okay.
And I stay about a 12-minute walk from our studio. It's less than a mile. It's nothing. I walk there every day, but they don't love you walking around at midnight, right? So they get cars for everybody. It's up to you whether you want to walk to the studio during the day, but they would prefer you not to be walking around late at night. So they get cars for everybody. And it's typically, it's car service stuff because sometimes the people that get into these cars are Jim Nantz and sometimes they're me, and they treat us all pretty much the same, believe it or not.
I don't know. You were on a billboard in Times Square once. Like, you're important to me.
Don't ever forget that. I appreciate you.
Won't.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
I wish more people would bring that up all the time.
As they should.
So we're getting ready to leave the studio, and our travel coordinator, she comes over to me and she says, GP, hey, your car is not going to be here for a few minutes. And I'm tired, and I've got 2 shows to plan, and I got a long day, and I'm like, hey, can I just get an Uber? Then I don't need a black car to drive a half a mile. I'm going to be in this thing for 3 minutes. Can I just get an Uber and that'll be fine. I don't care. She's like, yeah, I'll get you an Uber black. I was like, I don't even need that. Just like an Uber X, like the one that costs $8. Get me that one. I'll jump in it. It's fine. I'm not Jim Nantz. It's fine. And I don't mean to suggest that Jim Nantz wouldn't be okay with an Uber X. I just mean that I just want to get back to.
You're calling Jim Nantz more valuable than you.
That is all I'm doing is saying I understand there's a hierarchy to everything, and I understand my place in the world. And put me in a Toyota Corolla. I just want to get back to the hotel as quickly as possible. So she orders an Uber, and I jump in it, and the buddy just starts driving. And I'm like half paying attention, half looking at my phone. But I just sort of look up at some point, and I'm like, why are we going south? Why am I driving this way? Why are we going this way? But it's none of my business. I'm going to trust the Uber driver. And so I'm still not really paying attention. And he just stops the car. And he's like, here we are. And I'm like, buddy, this is not where I live. I am in the heart of Times Square, like 43rd and Broadway. All right, and that's where he wants me to get out, and I live like 11 blocks away from that. Yeah. And he's like, "We're here," and I'm like, "This is not where I need to get out. I need to go up. I need to go to 54th." And he's like, "Well, this is the address you put in." I said, "Buddy, I didn't put in this address. Somebody else put this address in. This is not even my Uber." I don't know what to tell you, but I just know this is not where I need to be. Can you please take me where I'm telling you I need to be? He says, I can't take you. I said, what? I said, what do you mean you can't take me? He said, you have to get out. And I said, can I just book a new ride? And he was like, no, you have to get out right here. And I got kicked out of the Uber at midnight in the middle of Times Square. In the middle of Times Square. And I'm just like, and at that point, it's really like a 10-minute walk, so it's like probably easier just to walk it.
Yeah, than try to get another car.
Than try to get another car, particularly like in the middle of Broadway in Times Square. So I just walked it. I will say that Times Square was popping off at midnight on a Thursday night. I mean, it was filled up, and everybody was there, seemed to be having a good time. But I was just like, I've never been kicked out of an Uber in my life. What happened? Now, tell me if I was petty. I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I don't know if this part reflects well on me.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even have to hear it. I know you were.
So I get out of the. So I'm like, are we being serious right now? Like you want me out of your car?
You're out.
And he said yes. Okay. I said okay, I got you. I grabbed my bag and I opened the back door, the back seat door, and I get out. And I didn't say a word. I didn't do anything crazy, but I just very intentionally left the door open so that he would have to get out and shut it himself.
No, he deserved that. He deserved that.
No, it's not his fault. Whoever
it is his fault. He was
quite literally his fault.
Okay, but whoever put the address wrong into the Uber, that's whose fault it is.
She put in the wrong address. That is all that happened.
And that's fine. And he didn't have to be rude. But he was, and then you took his rudeness and added a layer of rude on top of it.
I didn't yell. I didn't raise my voice. I used no bad words. But I just very intentionally just left the door open so that he would have to get out and close it himself.
I think that's fine.
And I took 3 steps, and I was like, well, that was kind of a petty thing to do. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. But he was being a jerk for no reason. No reason. Like, I'm a good Uber passenger. I don't ask you questions. I don't tell you what to do. I felt like I was treated inappropriately. Mm-hmm. And I know that sometimes when they go low, you're supposed to go high. But I decided
you went lower.
I went lower.
Did your rating go down?
No, it wasn't booked on his account. No, it wasn't booked on your account.
It wasn't my account.
Her rating went down.
You're safe. You're marked safe.
I'm safe.
Your coworker's rating took a hit because of your pettiness.
I was both proud of myself and disappointed in myself.
Wow.
Proud of myself because I wasn't the stereotypical man in a suit yelling at an Uber driver, you know. I'm proud of myself because I wasn't that guy, but then disappointed in myself because I did do a very petty thing. It was nothing more than literally nothing more than I'm going to make him have to close this door on his own.
Well, if this man gave a bad...
It still felt small.
If he gave a bad rating, you will now be your travel booker's story because at least some of us out there, I know not everybody has this experience. Some of you have perfect 5.0 ratings on Uber or 4.8 or whatever. But there are some of us out there whose Uber rating has been tanked by one bad performance by someone you were with. Not you, but somebody you were with at one point in your life. And we can always pin right back on when that happened. Mine was in the summer of 2013, and it has still impacted my rating to this day. Because I'm a perfectionist. I want a perfect Uber score. I'm a good Uber passenger.
I'm a great Uber passenger, but I also do not have a perfect Uber score.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my Uber score, my Uber rating right now.
Yeah.
It's 4.86. What's yours?
Let's see.
I bet yours is better than mine.
Mine is...
I'm going to see what mine is.
Mine's 4.87. So we're like right around the same.
You're like 1%. Like I'm 4.86 and you're 4.87.
Oh, wait. No. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm 4.93.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but that's because you're blonde.
I'm 4.9. I used to be brunette. I was brunette for at least half my time on Uber. Please, give me a break.
Y'all want to know what I am?
Yeah, what are you?
Yeah.
5.0.
You've never had somebody in the car ruin everything.
5.0.
You've never been begging an Uber driver for your life
Best
in the middle of the
passenger
streets
ever.
in Los Angeles to not force you and your friends to get out at 6 a.m. on a Sunday.
Well, that's. I think this actually makes sense to me. What kind of Uber driver would give Bennett a bad score once you see that beard?
That's right.
True.
Yeah, you don't want to die.
You don't want to get. You don't want to get
Not in his
involved
small town. Not in his small town.
You don't want to get involved. You don't want to get involved in a situation with a guy with a beard like that.
That's
so
right.
you're probably just automatically like 5.0, 5.
Done.
That's a 5. That's a 5. But then you see somebody like me, you're like, oh, look at him with his little glasses and his AirPods. Here's what I honestly believe. I think you're right. I have gotten Ubers for other people, and also been in Ubers with other people.
Yes.
And sometimes I know those Uber rides don't go as well as my own personal solo Uber rides go. I think I have been negatively impacted by people I have put into cars and by people who have been in cars with me. I'm not going to name names. But I feel like I don't think my Uber score accurately reflected me up until about midnight last night. Now it might.
Fair.
But up until then, I had never done anything like that. But I was just mad. I was just like irritated. Like I've been thinking about the end of this night all day long.
Yes.
And I know I've got 2 more shows to prepare for, and not really a lot of time to do that and sleep. Mm-hmm. I really needed this part of the day to go smoothly.
And it
I needed to get from point A to point B without interruption. Instead, you drove me the opposite direction of my hotel and then dropped me off. Like literally the first person I saw when I was kicked out of this Uber was Minnie Mouse.
Was her hat on?
That wasn't Minnie Mouse, bro.
I got out of the car and the first person I saw was Minnie Mouse.
Times Square is just the strangest, but
it's a bananas.
Honest, I'm going to use the word great, and I use that very graciously because it's not great. It's a lot. But as I haven't stayed in Times Square in a really long time until this most recent trip, my mom and I were mostly there for shows, and we were like, okay, let's just stay in Times Square and make it as convenient as possible. And it was convenient. And so then walking in that area at night after a show, it's crazy. I mean, the amount of people who are just standing in the middle of a street.
It was filled up last night. Like if you would have like said it well, oh yeah, because it's almost New Year's. That's what it looked like. Like I actually was like talking to my wife on the walk back, and I was like, and she was like, well, it's Thanksgiving parade. I was like, Kelly, Thanksgiving parade's next week.
Away.
I was like, they're not already hanging out for the Thanksgiving parade.
It's still quite a ways away.
I mean, there were just people everywhere. Don't ever let anybody tell you New York City's dead. Like it's just not.
It is very much alive.
Yes.
Okay, get this, just a crazy Times Square story, and I feel like you'll appreciate it from a person who spends a lot of time in New York City. We are walking middle of Times Square, probably at like 47th and 7th, in a crosswalk. Middle of the crosswalk, I hear a Jessica? And I'm like, where did that come from? Jessica! It's my husband's fraternity brother, who I'm in a fantasy football league with, Sean McGovern, and his new fiance, who I haven't met. I just saw her on Instagram. We run into each other in the middle of Times Square. Absolutely bonkers. Of that many people in that city at that exact time to be crossing in the middle of a crosswalk is just like really makes you have kind of an out-of-body worldly experience of how does that even happen? The odds of that happening have to be so minuscule. And yet there we were taking a selfie in the middle of Times Square.
I've had a few of those. There was one time last year, I was up here for one of those extended stays. Like I was here for like 11 straight nights. And so Kelly flew up here to like spend the weekend, and we did shows and whatever. But I think it was a Sunday, we got up and just went to a diner near Central Park to get brunch. And it was like walk in, table for two. They're like, yeah, follow me. We got seated, and then my buddy Ashley from back home in Memphis, he and his wife are like seated at the table next to us. Yeah, like
that is so insane.
Like our friends from back home are like, we just got seated right next to them near Central Park randomly on a Sunday.
Yeah. Life is so weird.
Life is weird like that. So I saw Minnie Mouse. That was fun.
That's exciting.
And the other thing you sort of notice about people are very anti-Times Square. Like it's beneath everybody.
Yeah.
I actually tell people, if you've never been in New York, you need to go do that.
You have to go.
Yeah, you need to see it. It's unlike any other place in the world, perhaps.
Also, from a convenience standpoint, to get to like Upper West and Central Park, but also get to Soho, Lower East, wherever you're trying to go. It is a pretty central. It's Midtown. Like it's called Midtown for a reason. And
yeah, like I stay in Midtown. I'm just above Times Square, but I stay in Midtown.
Yeah, it's funny. Growing up, we stayed in Times Square mostly. Like when we traveled there as a family, because we were usually there with my dad's job, and so we would, whatever the headquarters hotel for whatever event was typically in Times Square. And I thought Times Square was the coolest place in the world. I'll never forget. Like growing up, and it was when I honestly think I thought Times Square was cool until I'm a senior in high school, and I am spending a summer at Yale Acting Conservatory, and I'm with a bunch of like Northeastern, people who know the city, live in the city, or from the city. And they'll be like, oh, where do you stay when you're in New York? And I'd say, oh, Times Square. And just the look that the turning the nose down on, you spend time in Times Square. And then I got to this point going to USC and growing up where I would start dogging on Times Square. Like, well, you won't catch me dead in Times Square. Or I'd text friends like, I'm walking through the hellscape that is Times Square. And now I've kind of come out on the other side of that. Like, this is such a unique place. Right. And it's not as bad as, it's crowded and it's claustrophobic and there's so many billboards. It'll just make you think that you're seeing 8,000 things at one time because you are. But it's not as bad as we make it out to be. And it is a must-go-to. When Bennett goes to New York, we will send him to Times Square. He will see Minnie Mouse. He will see Spider-Man. He will see the little twirling cameras doing their 360 shots that are on every corner at this point. And you'll have a good time.
Yeah, it's like I tell I don't want to hang out there. Like I'm not...
No, I'm not seeking it out.
I don't. But if you've never been, you need to see it, and especially with kids. Like my kid's favorite things to do. Like I could just take Oliver. Like we did this a few years ago. Like he came up here with me on a work trip, and it was just me and him, and we just walked Times Square one night and just pop into the stores and the little spinny thing that you're talking about where they take the selfies and they're spinning all that. We did all that stuff, and he had a blast. Like that's a memory he'll have forever. And it's so lit up. Well lighted. I don't know what the proper word is. Well lit. Like you have no context for it's midnight. It doesn't feel like midnight at all. It feels like it could be at any time in the day.
The only other place that somewhat has that
Las
vibe is
Vegas.
Las Vegas. It's the
That's
only
right.
other place because it is midnight and it feels like it's 3 p.m. And
It could
it's
be
so
any-
lit up. You can
Yeah.
convince yourself for a second that it is.
It like we get into these conversations about downtown Memphis sometimes, and like and I promise I'm not about to do one, but I do think like better lighting.
Oh, I say this all the time. They just
would just be-
added. I give them props every time I can. The lighting that they added with one of like the newer parking garages downtown. It's kind of by the Orpheum, and they have these string lights that go across the whole street. Makes the world of a difference. Walking home at night, you hit that stretch, and you're like, oh, this feels nice because I am completely just like flooded with light. And we even added some in our neighborhood, and it just feels different. It's such an a seemingly easy thing to do that leads to comfort.
Like I don't like I'm not a city planner, right? But like the more lights, the better. It just a feeling that it allows for. And I noticed this last night. Like I was walking home at midnight and I was just like well lit the whole time, and it just felt like a different thing. And I sort of had this for my mother's birthday last month. We did a Friday night dinner at the Lobbyist, which was
lovely,
amazing. Like, yeah, it was great. But I parked. Valet parking was filled up by the time we got there, so I had to I was out on my own. Yeah. And so I had to park a little ways away, a few blocks away, and it was fine. Everything was great, but I was just like, I did notice that we could use some more lights. I just think lights seem like a very easy thing that would add something positive.
Did you see the New York Times piece, 36 Hours in Memphis, that came out yesterday?
I did not.
There was a journalist who, the way I understand it, and this is secondhand information, so if I am wrong, I apologize. But someone who was here working on one thing ended up having such a good time in Memphis that they went out of their way to make a 36 Hours in Memphis guide for the New York Times. And basically shining a light on a city that usually is in the news for the wrong reasons and reminding people there's like an unpretentiousness to the city that's really special. One of the places he went is the Lobbyist, which is why it came straight to mind. But it was just nice to see the city put in a way and I saw all my friends on Instagram share, this is my city, this is what I love about Memphis. And I was like, I wish that we had more of this. But the guy even said in his write-up, he would constantly say, and then I walked from here to here, and then I walked from here to here. And I'm like, people who live in this city refuse to walk from here to here, and yet here's someone who came into town who has probably spent a lot of time in bigger cities, and the natural inclination is, sure, if I'm going to go down to the Bass Pro Pyramid, then why would I not walk back to South Main? Or why would I not walk back to see the Peabody Ducks kind of deal? So anyway, I highly recommend it if you're just looking at someone seeing the city through a light that I think shows it in a pretty positive way, which is nice.
In a similar way, I stumbled into something late last night. I was joking with Bennett yesterday, and I'll dive into more of this in GP's carryout. I didn't plan to talk about it right here, but it's just sort of, we like when people like Memphis. I think we can agree on that. Memphians, I think, broadly speaking, just sort of like it when other people appreciate Memphis. And so I was joking with Bennett yesterday about sometimes just I need to unplug mentally. Like I work so much that sometimes I just need to stop working. I just need to not do something that would fall under the umbrella of work. And I don't think this is healthy, but it's just something I do. I'll just go to Facebook and just mindlessly scroll.
That's the worst place to go.
I know it is. I know, but I do it sometimes. And then I get distracted by it. It makes me realize that, you know what? At least I'm not them.
Okay. It's kind of like the Grizzlies playing the Kings.
Yeah, right.
At least I'm not. I go to Facebook, the Grizzlies play the Kings. That's the same kind of deal. Yeah, I feel that.
It makes me feel better. I was like, all right, I wasn't feeling so good, but at least that's not my life, So I was scrolling Facebook, and I hit a post from a guy named Otis Gibbs. I don't know this person. I don't follow this person. I gather it's an algorithm thing that it had noticed that I had been consuming Todd Snyder stuff since his death last week, and it sort of put this in front of me. And this guy named Otis Gibbs explained that he made a documentary with Todd Snyder a few years ago, and it was basically like Todd just came to Memphis for the weekend to reconnect with some old friends and play a benefit for WEVL. And this crew with no budget whatsoever just sort of followed him with cheap equipment and just sort of documented the weekend. And even though I'm a Todd Snyder fan and have friends who were his friends, I just was not aware of this documentary. I'd never seen it, but it's available on YouTube for free. And this guy had reposted it, just saying that it had eclipsed 100,000 views, and he knows Todd would have been pleased with that. He wondered. He said, Todd always wondered, like, would anybody even watch this? Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. Let's just do it and see what happens. And now here we are, and people are starting to watch it for awful reasons.
Yeah.
But my point is this: if you just want to hear a man who wasn't from Memphis but spent time here and just loves the city, just cares about the city, and just loved being here and loved everything about it, you would enjoy this. It's 54 minutes, so it's nothing to get through. As tired and busy as I was last night, as I was prepping for the Eye on College Basketball podcast, because a lot of that is just putting bullet point stuff in and Wisconsin's 4-0, and they're ranked here at KenPom, and I'm just sort of collecting data so I can hit it and sound smart. I had this playing on the iPad next to me, and it was just like I was smiling the whole time, except for the times where I was kind of tearing up a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was sweet to see him in that setting, but for our purposes, to see a man who just really loved Memphis.
Yeah.
I think you don't have to like Todd Snyder to appreciate that.
That's
so
cool.
Maybe if anybody wants to get to it, you can get to it this weekend. Hey, let's talk basketball for a second.
Okay. Because we actually have fun basketball to talk about?
That was the most fun. I was telling Bennett, man, I would do 82 consecutive back-to-backs against the Kings. I know it's not healthy, but
Yeah.
I like the way it makes me feel. And I guess
I'm gonna write Adam Silver a letter. I'm gonna say, dear Mr. Silver, the city could really use some wins. Can we please cancel the rest of the games and only play the Kings for every game moving forward?
I would love that.
Who
And I
says
know
no?
I know playing 82 back-to-backs is not healthy, but I like the way it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I like the way it makes me feel playing the Kings. First off, you can make a lot of mistakes in life doing things that aren't healthy but make you feel good. All right, so let's point that out first.
That's true. Get a little delusional, a little delulu.
But I just like the way I felt last night. I like the way I felt last night. 41-point win over the embarrassing Sacramento Kings. I like the way they made us feel. In all seriousness, Vince Williams, best fifth-string point guard in the world. You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 assists. Now, I do
Ben
think something
Stockton.
that makes life a lot easier for a fifth-string point guard is a 7'4", 300-pound body that you can dump the ball off to at times, and he will catch it, and he will, as was last night, go to the rim effectively and take advantage of a Kings team that had absolutely no one who could stop him or Jock Landale or Santi Aldama or anything on the interior. But I really find myself liking the completion of the player that is Vince Williams Jr. And, it's always good to have a fifth string point guard because you never know when you need someone who can handle the ball when, I don't know, your other four are injured at the same time. What he gives defensively, what he can be as an additional playmaker, what he does as a rebounder. This is someone who, towards the beginning of the season, I saw a lot of people say, if I had to get rid of a player on the team, like, what's Vince Williams Jr. doing? And now I think he has pretty clearly shown that he has a place in this rotation. And especially as a defender, he just plays really hard. Like that play of him diving on the ground up 29. Not every player does that, but Vince Williams Jr. does. And coming off of his injury issues, I just hope that we get the consistency of this version of Vince because it's definitely a bonus for this team.
I'm glad you made that point, and I wonder if there's not a larger lesson in there for all of us. Like, we live and die with this stuff every day. Like, we have to talk about this stuff every day.
Yes.
So we live and die with every dribble, every pass, every press conference, and we react to everything. Sometimes perhaps overreact to everything. I have found, and there's actually evidence to support this. Just let's talk college basketball for a minute. There's some data that shows you that the preseason AP poll is more reliable in terms of how the season's going to unfold than like an AP poll you might see in the middle of December or in early January, because we've had all offseason to think about this, and we've got a pretty good idea of how we think things are going to go. And though there are always surprises, things do tend to go the way they're supposed to go. Like in the NBA, we thought Oklahoma City would be good, and they are. And in college basketball, we thought Purdue and Houston and UConn would be good, and they are. But there are things that will happen in any season that you react to. And the point of the study that I read was, if you don't just like react to every single thing and just sort of let it all balance out and play out, you'll usually land about where you thought you were going to land. And you'll look less all over the place in the meantime. My point being this. With the Grizzlies, we talk about it every day. And so you see a couple of Vince Williams' poor performances, bad shooting efforts. He's banged up again. And I don't know that we completely as a people, but certainly I read the same stuff you read. It's like, okay, what is Vince Williams? And is it just over? And like he looked like maybe it was going to be a thing for a minute, but it's just been one injury after another, and I don't really know where he fits in anymore. And that's where we were like 2 weeks ago. And last night he had 15 assists, and he looks like among the most important pieces in this franchise right now, all things considered. The lesson I'm suggesting is like maybe like it'd be beneficial to just chill out every once in a while and look at things.
We don't really live in a chill out society.
I know that. I know that, but I think what I'm trying to say is I think if you just look at everything in 2 week snapshots or something like that, you might have a better grasp for what's actually happening than reacting strongly after every single thing that you see.
100%. Yes. But we as people, not just us with our jobs. I mean, like this job, sometimes I would argue maybe one of the most challenging things for me is I am a pretty rational leveled person. Like I really do practice patience and long-term thinking, and that just doesn't fly when you are having to give reactions on the daily, because you're kind of speaking with the people, and the people are talking about the thing that they just saw, and nobody wants to hear what you think is going to happen 3 weeks from now. They want to know what happens in the next game. Grizzlies fans want to know, are they going to win 2 in a row? And if they don't win 2 in a row, then you're going to take a step back and once again say, oh, yeah, we beat the really awful Kings, but we can only go 1-1 against the also really awful Mavs. It's just such an instant reaction to everything. And it's not just sports. It's how we operate in the world. Like, I'll even find myself, I've really tried to take a step back on, like, when I watch a TV show or I watch a movie or I watch a play, my first instinct sometimes will be, that was one of the best things I ever saw. I'm like, no, I'm being a prisoner of the moment. This is ridiculous. I've seen hundreds of things at this point in my life. Let's take a pause. I really enjoyed this thing. Why did I enjoy it? Okay, here's the list. And maybe a month from now, if I'm still thinking that way, I'll consider putting it in, well, that's one of the better things that I've ever seen. And if I'm still thinking about it in a year, then I'm like, yeah, maybe that was one of the best things that I've ever seen. But we're just so conditioned to have really passionate feelings immediately, good, bad, indifferent. And I think that plays out at its worst often in sports, but it's part of the game too. And you just never know where it's going to go.
So the Grizz are now 5-11, game against Dallas on tap. Win that, you're 6-11, and suddenly you're on a 2-game winning streak. And I know it's just against the Kings and the Mavericks, but it's still a 2-game winning streak, and you're 6-11, and you're still right there hovering around 10th in the West. Again, maybe this plays into exactly what we were just talking about, but 2 days ago, we felt like, oh, my God, where is this thing going?
2 days ago, Gary, if you had taken a poll of everybody at that arena last night before the game, once you found out that Jaren Jackson Jr. was not playing, and we can have revisionist history this morning, like, I knew they had to beat the Kings. I think there was a lot of confidence, overwhelming confidence, I should say.
I had overwhelming confidence.
Okay, congratulations. We should all listen to you in that case because you were closer to right. But yeah, it changes so fast. I think I said it on the double post last night. At this point, you can say the Grizzlies are better than the other bad teams. And that is a good thing to be able to say. I will not be able to change my next step in the analysis of this team until I see John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zach Edey all play a complete game on the basketball court against a good team and how they perform against a good team. That's kind of the next step of this. And there's going to be a lot of time in the interim. I hope Jaren's back tomorrow, but we're still, a week away from Ja being reevaluated. But once we get to that, that's kind of the next step in the understanding of who the 2025-2026 Memphis Grizzlies are.
I guess my point was, and I get you out of here, I know you got dogs to walk. I guess my larger point was the same way you can go from, I don't know what Vince Williams is even employed for, to, my God, Vince Williams is amazing. Yeah. The same way you can go from that pretty quickly. We can go from 4-11, 5-game losing streak, everybody's hurt, I feel like hell, to hey, Vince looks all right as a lead guard option under these circumstances. We've just won 2 straight. We're 6-11. Things aren't that bad. Like you can get there pretty quickly.
Zach Edey is
there you
awesome
go.
and very big, and Cedric Coward is number 2 on the NBA rookie ladder and making plays every night that give you reason to start fantasizing of him being a very important piece on a winning basketball team. Like all of that, it can change quickly. That's where wins like last night are so important from just the mood and for young players on the team, because when you're in the middle of a long losing streak, of which they happen often, long losing streaks are par for the course in a long NBA season. For good teams too. You will have teams that make long runs in the postseason who suffer, 4 to 7 game losing streaks at some point potentially. They just feel bad and they make everything else feel worse. So you get the win, you appreciate the win. And remember, you're right. One day Vince Williams Jr., everyone's saying, why? And now they're saying, Vince Williams Jr., 15 assists? It changes quickly.
It's a modern day John Stockton. That's Jessica Benson. She'll be back in
That's what
studio.
they're calling him.
That is what that's what I'm calling him. Jessica Benson going to be back in studio Monday morning, 8 a.m. I will join her at 8:40. I'll see you. Have a good weekend.
Have a good time in New York. Don't leave
the
any
best.
Uber drive or Uber cars open.
You know what? He deserved that, I think.
He did.
I think so. Yeah. I'll see you later. I'll try to be better. I'll try to be better. Bye-bye. That's Jessica Benson. We come back, turn our attention, Tiger basketball. Played Purdue tough. I was surprised. Played Purdue tough. Actually had a lead in the final 7 minutes of the game. But then Purdue immediately countered with a 15-2 run, and that was that. Still, they showed effort. It was the best performance they had so far this season. We'll talk Memphis. They got Wake Forest later on today. We'll do it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to Grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Look who it is, Brooks Monahan's here. Undefeated 16-0-3, and now heading into the NCAA tournament undefeated.
I couldn't be prouder of the kids, but if you would have asked me, if we would have been sitting here back in the summer before we started, and you would have said, you're going to go 16-0-3, I would have thought you were, I would have told you were crazy.
You thought this was a rebuild year.
Yeah, I hate using the word rebuild, but yes.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Orthopedic injuries can can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays in the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Penny Hardaway's Tigers played Purdue tough last night, but ultimately lost. The final score was Purdue 80, Memphis 71. Bennett, be honest with me. Do you walk away from that encouraged as a Memphis alum, or, hey, buddy, no moral victories, GP, we're 1-3?
Okay, I walk away from it encouraged because I know what they can be when they, like, play hard. It's a couple things. I was obviously encouraged. Like, that was a really good effort, a great game plan by Penny Hardaway going into that game. I continue to... that game continues to show why he's a really good college basketball coach and the right coach for this program. But besides that, I was encouraged by the effort, but I was discouraged in the sense that why didn't you play like that in the UNLV game? Because it was 2 completely different teams and 2 completely different levels of effort. And I don't want to harp on that because, again, that was very encouraging yesterday against the number 1 team in the country. And I really hope they can carry it over today against Wake Forest because I think a win today would go a really long way coming back home, for a game that you should be able to get. And then we'll see if we can reset this thing, right? So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, encouraged by what I saw yesterday for sure.
I think today is massive for a lot of reasons. I don't want to say there aren't a lot, but the numbers are the numbers. They're going to be underdogs in many of these non-league games. They're an underdog in this one. 3.5 points, I believe.
3.5. Yep, that's right.
Is the number I saw earlier. But you're on a neutral court against a comparable team. And given that your non-league schedule is going to put you in a lot of situations where you're expected to lose, you're going to need to steal somewhere. And this seems like a good place to get it.
Yes.
You don't want to come back home 1-4. Just you still got to get people to come down and watch this basketball team and care about this basketball team. And just as we see with Tiger football, maybe this wasn't always the case with Tiger basketball, but people will clock out on this. They will clock out on it. Do you know how many people were in the building for the UNLV game?
It had to have been I would say, I bet they announced 8,000, something like that.
I don't know what they announced. I can tell you how many people were actually there. It was less than 5,000.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I could see it.
Whatever they announced, it was less than 5,000 butts and seats. All right. 20 years ago, Memphis wouldn't play anybody and get less than 5,000. I mean, anybody.
Right.
They could play anybody, and they wouldn't get less than 5,000. I remember one time when I was the beat writer, the building was noticeably empty. I want to say it was for a Providence game or something like that. And it was because the roads were iced over, and it was like ice storm type stuff. And there was just nobody there, and it was like, man, look at this. This is crazy. Well, now that's the way it looks. I know UNLV's not good, but this was a Sunday afternoon game against a notable brand. Everybody knows UNLV. That's a big brand from certainly my childhood, with one of your former head coaches coming back to FedEx Forum for the first time. In a different era of Tiger basketball, that would be an event. And just nobody cared. Nobody went. And that's when you can still kind of believe that, hey, we might be okay. We don't know. I mean, I've been telling you the computer numbers since the preseason and explaining to you how this non-league schedule would likely go. But I'd peek at the chat every once in a while, and there's oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. As if I ever tried to tell you I'm predicting Memphis is going to do this against the non-league schedule. Just quite literally never said that. I just say, hey, here's the computers people reference all the time, and the computers think this is going to be a rough go for Memphis. And then you'd have some Memphis fans in the chat, like, arguing with it. Well, F those computers. I believe in Penny. And so before the UNLV thing, you could still kind of believe in this, or at least some people were. But then you lose by double digits at home to that team. And then if you come back home 1-4, you're going to have a hard time getting people to believe in anything. And an even harder time getting people to drive downtown and watch you play. And don't ever forget, go back and watch the press conferences connected to the departure of Tubby Smith and the arrival of Penny Hardaway. The number one reason that they pulled the trigger on Tubby Smith after 2 years, it wasn't because necessarily he was running an embarrassing basketball program. It was not good, but it wasn't embarrassing necessarily. It wasn't good. But the number one reason was, we cannot financially survive this. We have to have people at our basketball games, and nobody's coming to our basketball games anymore. Well, we've already seen evidence that is still mostly true. Even last year when they were in the top 25 all season, attendance was down. For a UNLV game early in the season, less than 5,000. Come back home 1-4 on what would be at that point a losing streak of 4 games. Come back home 1-4 with a losing streak of 4 games, and then try to get people to come watch you play Southern Illinois and New Orleans. It gets tough. So today is big, because I just laid out the worst case scenario for you. You lose today, you're on a 4-game losing streak, coming home 1-4. You win today, and now on Monday we're having a different conversation. You know what I come in here and sit down and tell you? I say, listen, Bennett, I don't know what was going on in that UNLV game, but we watched them fight with Purdue. They were up 7. I mean, they were up big in the game, and then up with 7 minutes to go with the number 1 team in the country. And then they bounced back after that and knocked out a Wake Forest team that was up with 3 minutes to go over a top 15 Texas Tech team the night before. So is this ideal? No. But Bennett, they're still 2-3. A win over a top 85 San Francisco team, a win over a top 50 Wake Forest team, and 2 of the 3 losses are to teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament, Purdue and Ole Miss. We'll never be able to explain the UNLV thing, but at this point, let's just pretend that that's something that happened but won't happen again. They're okay. The conversation is totally different depending on what happens in this game later on today between Wake Forest and Memphis.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, I was just watching that yesterday. You know, it does give you at least the hope of, okay, we know what they can be. Like, you watched that yesterday. That team right there that I saw yesterday, that's a team that easily wins the American Conference. It just
how about this?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the studio. We have the game on our air, so we did the 30-minute pregame Inside College Basketball. We're all watching it. I'm in studio, Wally Zerbiak, Emeka Okafor. And these are guys who they haven't watched Memphis play this season. They're just seeing it for the first time. GP, who's that? Doug McDaniel. Oh, he was at Kansas State. Yeah. Oh, he's at Memphis now. Yeah. That's sort of where we are. And just looking at it, you know what Wally and Emeka both said? Memphis looks bigger, more athletic. Like, Memphis looks bigger. Memphis looks faster.
I do wonder
Memphis looks more athletic.
I do wonder if he found something by starting all the bigs. That was interesting. I mean, you knew that you were going up against a big team in Purdue, and so you were going to have to probably do something to counter that. But you're like, to their point, yes, they came out and looked bigger and more athletic.
And like, I think the size bothered Braden Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the preseason National Player of the Year. He was 2 of 14 from the field. Still had 11 assists, but that was not an A game from him. It was not an A game from Purdue, but Matt Painter said afterwards, like, that, Memphis had something to do with that. Memphis made us not play as well as we can play. And he was like, it was just a weird game. I don't know if you saw his post game, but he was like, it almost felt like a pickup game, which, by the way, like, I've been hearing that my whole life. Other coaches, other fans, analysts talk about Memphis basketball and be like, it felt like a pickup game. I'd like to not have that be attached to it someday.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
I mean, it really does go all the way back to, like, Larry Finch. Mm-hmm. People would watch Larry Finch's Tigers. Yep. Like, it has been a part of my entire life. Like, even good Memphis basketball teams, people would say things like, it kind of looks like a pickup game. And Matt Painter, like, sort of referenced that last night. I guess the moment that got a lot of attention, Aaron Bradshaw gets a technical foul that doubles as a fifth foul that removes him from the game. He's trying to establish position on Oscar Clough. It looks like Clough gave him a little bit, and then, frankly, it looked like Aaron Bradshaw flopped. It looked like Clough gave him a little bit, and then he flopped.
Okay, what I will say is I thought it could have been called a foul. I think it probably should have been called a foul, if I'm being honest.
Perhaps.
It without question flipped the game, and he didn't have a great game, but he did have a few timely buckets. Like it without question flipped the game. It kind of fell apart after that moment, right?
In fairness, so in that moment, Memphis was ahead. You get the technical foul because for people who didn't see it, whether Bradshaw flopped or not, let's not get focused on that. He goes down. There's no whistle. He gets up and gets right in Clough's face, points his finger. That's going to be a technical foul every time. It doubles as his fifth. He goes out of the game. Fletcher Lawyer knocks down a couple of free throws. Now we're tied, and now we're playing the rest of the game without Aaron Bradshaw. In fairness, Memphis did take a lead again. Memphis did lead.
That's right.
Memphis did lead after that moment, but that's still not a good moment in a game where early on you looked bigger and more athletic, in part because of Aaron Bradshaw. You had to close the game without Aaron Bradshaw, which makes you less big and less athletic. Simply put, you can't do that. That's immature, childish shit that you cannot do, and it is exactly why. Like if you were trying to explain to somebody, why isn't Aaron Bradshaw, 5-star prospect, McDonald's All-American who signed with Kentucky out of high school, and John Calipari, why is he not in the NBA? Why is he playing in the American instead of the NBA? It's because that's who he is. He's an immensely talented person who can't tap into the stuff you've got to tap into to be what it is your natural abilities suggest you should be. You go to Kentucky because people can see the potential, but then they see you're not that. So then you bounce to Ohio State because they ain't had to work with you yet, but they can still see the potential. But then they get you, and you got to bounce out of that. And now you're in the American. Why? Because that's who you are. You showed us you have been showing us who you are, and you did it again last night. And if we believe Aaron Bradshaw could have helped them at all down the stretch, then he quite literally cost his team.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, like I said, it wasn't a great game, but I did see a way better effort from him than I did against UNLV. But again, I think that's the thing with him is, okay, I know I'm probably going to get a good effort for Purdue. I would assume I'm probably going to get a good effort from Wake Forest today on national TV. What's it going to look like when you're playing, Rice on a Wednesday night? Are you going to bring that same level? Because that's just what's been the problem, right? You got to be able to get, because he's obviously good enough to be a dominant player in the AAC when they get in conference play. But are you going to bring that same level every single game?
I don't know. We'll see. I think his career to this point suggests probably not, but hopefully something changes. Either way,
can I say one thing real quick about?
You can say two things real quick.
Well, you mentioned Doug McDaniel. I enjoyed his post-game press conference. He said that he owned it. He was like, the UNLV game was embarrassing. Like, we embarrassed ourselves, and we can never play like that again. And I respect that he owned up to that, because he had a really good game yesterday. I still feel like that he is a guy that can be the leader on this team and can help this team win a bunch of games this season. So, respect for him for saying that.
I'm glad you bring up the Doug McDaniel thing, because I was going to point out our whole Doug McDaniel for P.J. Haggerty trade with Kansas State's not going well.
Well,
did you see what he did last night?
I believe he's the leading scorer in the nation right now.
P.J. Haggerty last night for Kansas State, 37 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, and a 98-77 win over Mississippi State.
He's
awesome.
I am dying. They're undefeated. I'm dying to know just how that all went down. I've got to find out from somebody how that all went down with him, because you said, and I think I agree with what you said. Like, you can't just sit around and wait on this guy. Like, you have to build a team, and he was kind of dragging you along a little bit during the offseason when you're trying to figure out if you're going to have him back or not. But man, if you're going to beg anybody to come back,
he's awesome.
He's awesome. He's an awesome college player.
I was in Kansas City last month for Big 12 Media Day. Night before Big 12 Media Day, me and Matt Norlander went to dinner, and you're in downtown Kansas City. Everybody in the Big 12 is there. There's a handful of nice steakhouses. You're probably not going to be able to pop into one without bumping into somebody you know. So it was that kind of deal. And bumped into Jerome Tang. He sat down with us, the Kansas State coach, and he hung out with us for about 20 minutes or so. But he was like, and I don't think he would mind me saying this, he was like, I know Braden Smith at Purdue is awesome, but I'm not sure I don't have the best guard in the country. I know that Braden Smith will be labeled that way, and that's fine. I think I might have the best guard in the country. And buddy, you looked the part last night. 37 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds for P.J. Haggerty. Memphis, next up, it's Wake Forest. And if you want to talk about how the margins are just so thin in, I guess, all sports, but for our purposes, college basketball, Wake Forest right now is 3-2, unranked. The 2 losses are to Michigan in overtime, top 15 team, and to Texas Tech in a game that they led by double digits and by a bucket with less than 3 minutes to play.
Yep.
I could change 2 possessions in Wake Forest season, and they'd be 5-0, ranked, and one of the best stories in the country. As it is, they're 3-2, coming off of a loss to Texas Tech and playing unranked Memphis. They could be 5-0 with 2 top 15 wins with a shot to knock off number 1 Purdue tonight. And if they were to do that, there would be some people making the argument, just like they made for Arizona. I guess Wake Forest deserves to be number 1 in the country or somewhere close to that because they've already got 3 top 15 wins. Who else has that other than Arizona? As it is, they're 3-2 with a game against Memphis.
Big
All
game.
Because, it's big for both teams. Big for both.
It's
both
a big
teams.
game.
Memphis, Wake Forest, CBS Sports Network. I'll be in studio. I'm going to put on a tie when we're done here, and I'll clean up my language a little bit, and I'll talk to you later.
It's a big Memphis sports night because the women's soccer team, their game got rescheduled. They are playing TCU tonight, so it's going to be going on at the same time. I believe the Memphis women's soccer team plays at 6 o'clock as well. So big night. Go Tigers.
TCU, you can delay it if you want to, but it's inevitable. You can put it off the end of your season one day, but you will only be putting off the end of your season by one day. Memphis Tigers women's soccer program, I've already called it victorious tonight.
Let's go.
Number 2.
Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is reportedly meeting with Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter at some point today as speculation continues to build about where he will coach college football next season. You haven't seen any updates this morning, have you?
I haven't seen anything yet. No, I have not seen anything.
Okay, after talking about this over the past couple of weeks from every angle, I have now decided exactly what I would do if I were Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
I would stay at Ole Miss. And I wouldn't stay at Ole Miss because I necessarily think it's the right thing to do or the smart thing to do, or it's even the thing that I wholeheartedly believe I want to do. This is where I've sort of settled in on it. And Dan Wetzel has got a column that sort of emphasizes the same point. The only practical way to leave Ole Miss right now is to leave before the season is done, is to quite literally walk away from a team that's got a chance, by definition, to win the national championship. And, you know, that little passage that Lane tweeted the other day about make a list of pros and cons. Yep. And even if one side of that list is overwhelming with 15 different things, if there is one thing that can trump all of those things, then that's the one thing you need to focus on. So in other words, everybody knows about making pros and cons. Hey, make your list, pros and cons, and then look at it and see if you got more pros than cons, and maybe that'll guide you where you need to be. The point of this passage, as he delivered it, was don't get caught up in the numbers. Like there's 15 pros and only one con. If the one con is the one thing that is more important than everything else, then that's the thing that should be focused on. And I think if you apply that logic here, here's where I would be at least. I would not want to be known as the man who walked away from a team that had a shot to win the national championship. I would not want to be known as the man who told 80 young men to believe in me, to work with me, to ride with me, and then walk away from them right in the middle of our biggest fight because I think it might be easier to do this somewhere else someday. Like, think about that for a second. The only reason you leave Ole Miss is so that you can position yourself to win a national championship. And to do that, you would quite literally be walking away from a team that some people believe is good enough to win a national championship.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do that, period. Like, it would be that. I have gotten to a point where it would be that simple for me. It's not even I'm sit down with my wife, with my kids, with my agent, with whomever, and this is where I would land. I would say, guys, I know we've talked about this from every angle. You've gone and visited Baton Rouge. You've gone and visited Gainesville. I know that I've told you I think that this might be best for us. I know that I've told you I have dreams about coaching at a place like that. But here's the truth. This is not even a choice for me to make. I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't walk away right now. Not like this. I will be hated in this community forever, which I can maybe get over, but that's not fun. Right now, everybody loves me, or at least a month ago, everybody loved me before I started all this stuff. I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to uproot my family in this moment, but all of these things are secondary, I think. The main thing is, I don't want for the rest of my life, no matter what happens going forward, every time people talk about me, this is what they talk about. I don't know if I'll ever win a championship at Ole Miss. Perhaps I'd have a better chance to win one at Florida or LSU. Maybe I'll look back on it and wish or wonder, but I'm just telling you, I can't live the rest of my life with people thinking that about me. I can't live the rest of my life, no matter what I do, when I die. My obituary will say at some point, the guy who walked away from a one-loss team heading into the college football playoff or heading into the semifinals or heading into the Egg Bowl or wherever. I don't want that to be my legacy. I'm not comfortable with it, and that is why I'm staying at Ole Miss. That's what I would do.
He did tweet hashtag come to the sip 1 hour ago.
I don't know what any of that means. Like, you know, I know that there's a lot of like momentum attached to LSU. You read all this stuff, right? Like, there are reputable college football analysts right now who believe he will be the next head coach at LSU. I'm being very clear here. I have no inside information. I've never talked to Lane Kiffin. I don't know what's going on here. I could not, and perhaps I'm projecting, and I understand Lane Kiffin's different than me, and others who know him well will tell you he's the most all over the place, hard to figure out guy in college football. So maybe all of this is a moot point. But I cannot imagine voluntarily making that your legacy. You know exactly what everybody's going to say about you if you do this, because they've already said it. This isn't one of those things where, wow, I didn't see this coming. Like Kevin Durant signs with Golden State. He didn't see what was coming. He didn't know how that would be received. And we didn't have weeks in advance to talk about it because nobody even really thought that was a real thing that might happen. So it wasn't like this chorus of analysts and everybody screaming the whole time for 2 weeks. I know Kevin Durant's thinking about going to State, but if he goes there and boom, 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 and then he did it anyway. I think KD did that thinking, I'm going to a team that just lost, and I'll make them the team that wins, and I'll be celebrated accordingly. He did not have a proper grasp for what he was doing and how it would be received. Lane should have a proper grasp for exactly how this would be received, because we've had plenty of time to think about it, talk about it, consider it, and express opinions. Everybody has told him how this will play, and I cannot imagine being somebody who will walk into that voluntarily. I'm telling you how this will be received. You might go win 7 national championships at LSU, but this will always be the bigger part of your story, that you walked away from that you did this to those young men, that you did this to that university that believed in you and was willing to give you everything and did. I can't fathom that being your legacy and you making it that way. I understand sometimes people make bad decisions, spur of the moment, all that stuff. But this is one you've had plenty of time to talk about, plenty of time to think about, and the whole world's telling you exactly how it's going to go down if you walk out that door under these circumstances. I just wouldn't do it, period. I just would not do it. I might look up in 3 years and go, the timing just wasn't right, and I think I'd be happier at LSU right now than I am at Ole Miss right now. You might have all those feelings, but none of those feelings will compare to the feeling you carry around with you. If there's anything normal about you, the feeling you have to carry around with you knowing you walked away under these circumstances for the rest of your life, that is not something I would be comfortable with. I would stay. And that's why I continue to believe he probably will. I don't report that or say it with any sort of inside information. Just on a human level, I don't know how you could leave. Not like this. Not right now.
Number 3.
Baylor Athletic Director Mack Rhoades has resigned his position effective immediately. And this is one of the quicker and more dramatic falls in college athletics we've seen in a while. This guy was the college football playoff chair. He's an incredibly important person running, one of the biggest Big 12 programs, one that won a championship in men's basketball just a few years ago. And he was apparently forced to resign. And you might remember we talked a few weeks ago about how he had that incident with a player on the sideline. Do you remember that story?
Yes.
This appears to be nothing connected to that. What Baylor officials have disclosed is that they were investigating another issue altogether that seemed to be in violation of his contract and of the standards at Baylor University. As you know, this is the biggest Baptist university in the United States. Religion is a thing there. And at the risk of speculating irresponsibly, it sounds like there might have been something going on in his personal life that led to something that could complicate his status within the university and perhaps violated some code of conduct stuff in his contract. And this was one of those where if you don't resign and take a little parachute buyout we'll give you on your way out, we're going to have to get you, and it's going to be bad. So you should probably release a statement saying you're step away to focus on your faith and family, and let's try to hope this ends right here. But that is apparently what's going on. And I know that some have said that these two things are disconnected, the issue with the Baylor football player and this issue that ultimately led to his resignation. But I don't know. I know this to be true in my own life. Sometimes when one aspect of your life is getting kind of crazy or stressful or something, it can lead to stress and craziness in other parts of your life. In other words, it's not hard for me to imagine. I'm not suggesting this is true. It's just not hard for me to imagine. The first thing you hear about Mack Rhoades having any sort of issues at Baylor is this incident on the sideline with a Baylor football player. There's a young man who's wearing a different color undershirt than the rest of the Baylor players, and Mack Rhoades allegedly flipped out about it and said some nasty stuff to the young man, questioning the way he's dressing, and there's a racial dynamic in it that is awkward and uncomfortable. And reportedly, Baylor's football coach, Dave Aranda, was hot. Yo, man, you said what to my player? The player's dad had to come to camp. It was one of these things. Whatever was said was deemed wildly inappropriate and over the line. And so much so that we have a football coach and a position coach standing up very publicly to the athletic director. Can you imagine? That's you're a position coach. The athletic director is technically your boss, and you're in his face, heated because of what he said to your player. That suggests to me it was clearly over the line. But that's not what got him. What got him is we're finding out there was something else going on in his life that was in violation of his contract, allegedly, and the standards at Baylor. Here's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes your life gets so crazy, stressful in one aspect of it, the type of stuff that might have been going on in his life, that it can make you uneasy and on edge in every aspect of your life. And next thing you know, you're popping off at a football player before a game and you don't even know why. Why did I just yell at a football player and say that? It's probably because you're on edge about something else. I plead guilty to this sometimes. I get stressed at work and I take it out on my kids, or get stressed with my kids and take it out on you. I mean, whatever. It's hard to keep all this stuff separate sometimes. And I bet you we'll find out on some level that was true with Mack Rhoades. His life was on some level in a place that it didn't need to be. It was getting stressful. It was possibly falling apart. And it led to him having all of these other issues. And now it's culminated with, he's unemployed. He's no longer the athletic director at Baylor. And, the rest of his life will unfold differently than it otherwise would have if not for this stuff. So I don't know that there's anything quite unique about it, people have, for as long as the world has existed, made questionable decisions that have cost them in a variety of ways, but Mack Rhoades is the latest to join that list. Big downfall for the former athletic director at Baylor.
Number 4.
Thursday night football last night. Texans beat the Buffalo Bills 23-19, so the Bills dropped to 7-4. Chiefs are 5-5. Ravens are 5-5. Patriots and Broncos have the best records in the NFL. What a weird NFL season we're watching right now.
It's so weird. I mean, somebody tweeted this last night after the game. The Bills this season have defeated Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. They have also lost to Davis Mills, Michael Penix Jr., and Tua.
Well, you know.
So, yeah, it's an up and down season for sure, specifically for the Buffalo Bills.
It's a team game. But you just start to look at this, and it's for a while it's always been, well, it'll be the Chiefs. If it's not the Chiefs, it'll be the Bills. And don't ever forget about Lamar Jackson. And this is sort of where we talked about the AFC. It feels like forever. And now, I don't know, is it really the Patriots and Broncos? Are those really the best teams in the AFC? Would you right now predict the AFC title game between the Patriots and the Broncos?
No, I will not. If the Chiefs get in, I will take them. If any of those three teams you mentioned before, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, if they get in, whichever one gets in, whichever two gets in, I will still pick those teams over the field in the AFC.
I saw Josh Allen's press conference last night. I guess I got back to my room in time after a long walk through Times Square to turn on Scott Van Pelt's Sports Center. And I saw Josh Allen's postgame. He's just always really good. Every time I hear him talk.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Even after losses, he's just good. Every time I hear him talk, I'm impressed by him.
Yeah, he's he's clearly pressing right now because and it's insane to me that they did not make a move at the deadline to bring him a number one wide receiver. I just don't understand that. I was saying, come get Calvin Ridley from the Titans, or whoever. Jalen Waddle was a guy that was connected to them potentially. That probably was hard to get worked out because it's in division and teams don't want to help other teams in their division. But they've suspended Keon Coleman, who was supposed to be their number one receiver, for 2 straight games. The guy he can't get it together. I think he's just goofy. I think he's just a goofy dude and doesn't really take it seriously. Yeah.
I don't know nothing about him, but I know when he got drafted, he said some funny stuff.
Yeah.
And then they started really trying to lean into the funny stuff. They would almost create moments for him to be funny. And it almost seemed a little manipulative, perhaps, or exploitive.
I saw the video you're referencing.
Yeah, it was I don't know. I watched it and I didn't. That felt uncomfortable to me.
In retrospect, yeah.
It felt like they were leaning into, well, this guy doesn't really know anything.
No.
It was kind of funny when he was sort of I don't know anything. But it was less funny when they were highlighting he really isn't that sophisticated. It just felt I don't know, not a big deal, but it felt uncomfortable. And now here we are. The reason I even remember this is because of what you just said. He might just be goofy. Well, the goofy aspects of him were something they celebrated, and now they might just be you're too goofy, bro.
Yeah.
This is enough's enough.
And so they just I just don't think they have. They're one of the contenders in the AFC that just doesn't have a true number one wide receiver. And that's a problem in this league, even with Josh Allen. So I'm not sure why they didn't try to do anything to address that. Now, that on the other side, that Texans defense is probably the best defense in the NFL. They had 8 sacks last night. They're just incredible. So I don't know, man. That one sucked. I still got to think that the Bills can turn this around and get their way into the playoffs. Just because I really want them to. I'm really rooting for them. So I don't know.
Well,
they're up against it now.
I hope better days are ahead. Congrats to the Texans. Hit your button.
Number 5.
Wicked for Good has opened. It's 2 hours and 17 minutes. It's the sequel to the original Ariana Grande hit. I've never seen it. Do I need to see it? Should I have already seen it? Have I failed myself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pop culture, right? I think you just have to see it. Did you never see Wicked, the play, the musical?
I don't think I've ever seen Wicked the play. I don't think
shocked
so.
by that. I mean, as much as you and Jess and Vernon talk about Broadway and all the shows, this might as well be Broadway City Media, for God's sakes. Like, as much as y'all talk about how y'all love Broadway, I have seen Wicked the play. I actually have seen it.
All right. I'm sure you got a physical copy of it too.
No, I do have a physical copy of the first movie though, which we'll probably revisit before. We're gonna go see it, I think, on Tuesday. JB's going to see it tonight. She's excited.
Oh, of course she is. She'll probably see it 3 times.
She's excited about it. I think she's going to the showing where everyone dresses up and like flies around the movie theater and stuff. So she'll have fun
dangerous.
tonight. So the thing that everyone says about Wicked the musical, the play, is the first act is way better than the second act. And so from what I've seen and that's because the first act has like the great song, specifically Defying Gravity, which is the song that everyone loves. It's like one of the great Broadway songs ever. But everyone says the first act's better than the second act. I actually liked the whole thing. I mean, I enjoyed it when we went and saw it. But the reviews kind of suggest the same, that this one is still really good, but the first one's better. That's kind of what I'm getting just from reading all the reviews.
Can I just skip it, all of it? Can I just skip all of it?
It's Americana, man. Like this is pop culture. I think you need to. I think you're gonna have FOMO if you don't dive in.
I promise you I won't, because I didn't last time. But this is where I might. Here's the truth. I'm just being honest with you. I like to consider I'm looking down at Broadway right now. I'm a man of the theater, and by that I mean sometimes I go.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate the arts. I appreciate theater.
I love the arts.
I don't like musicals.
Oh, I like a good musical now.
I have seen musicals that I like. I have seen musicals that I like. I recognize when one is great. I love La La Land.
Oh, that was a good one. Yes.
I love La La Land.
La La
Land is one of the few movies that I didn't see it until it was way late. I was way late to see it. The whole world had already seen it. The whole world had already seen it's great. And usually when I didn't get to it, I'm like, okay, it was good, but it wasn't everything you guys said it was. It wasn't that great. You built it up into something it's not. That's usually where I land. It's why when something is getting talked about to that level, I try to go see it quickly, because I don't want to be disappointed because I've heard too much good stuff about it. Point being this, I was late to La La Land. By the time I saw it, expectations were through the roof. And I was like, that was just as good as everybody said. That was great. I love that movie. All right? And they sing songs in that movie. So I don't hate all musicals, but I don't prefer musicals. On Broadway, I would rather go see a play than a musical. And so I know people love the singing, but I don't need it. It's not for me.
That might say something about you.
I was afraid that it might.
That might say something about you. I like a good music. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. The music You never blasted Defying Gravity in your car? My God, that song's incredible. Brings a tear to my eyes every damn time I hear it.
I grew up on Grease. I like Grease.
Grease is the word. I love Grease too. It's like I love Grease Part 2. That one's good with Michelle Pfeiffer. I liked that one.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer.
She's great.
She can sing or do whatever she wants. I love Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
I hope that's not in question. But I don't need musicals.
Okay.
I would prefer people to just talk than sing to me.
Okay.
Yeah, just say it. You don't need to sing it. Just say it to me.
Oh, I mean, Wizard of Oz. This is the prequel to Wizard of Oz, man.
I
It's one of the great movies of all time.
I love the Wizard of Oz.
Dorothy, the Tin Man.
Man, you don't have to tell me about the Tin Man.
The Cowardly Lion, the Scarecrow.
Man, I knew all these people before you were even born, Bennett. I was on Scarecrow before you were even born.
Did you ever sync up Dark Side of the Moon with the Wizard of Oz in your youth?
Man, how much $5 acid you got?
That's a rite of passage, by the way. That's a rite of passage. If
to
you
do acid and watch Wizard of Oz with Pink Floyd?
I'm not going to confirm or deny what you do when you watch it, but man, there was nothing like syncing up the Dark Side of the Moon album with Wizard of Oz, and you thought you were really doing something. You thought you were, oh my God.
Oh, you were going to see the world in a whole different.
My mind is open.
Oh, your mind's open. You get your Pink Floyd CD out, and you get your Wizard of Oz DVD out. and you get your little $5 acid, and you start going, and about 50 minutes into it, you're like, I mean, this is cool, but I don't think this is working. I don't think this is
Did
working.
I time it right?
I don't think, man, I guess I put it on my tongue like they said, but I don't think it's working. You think you got any more? Maybe I need more.
Oh.
See, then you make that, you do that. And then about an hour and a half later, the movie's still going, and Pink Floyd's still doing their thing, and you over there on the couch, one of these.
In a state.
You over here like this for about the next 4 hours.
The Cowardly Lion starts getting scary.
You're like, man, is he talking to me? Is the Cowardly Lion talking to me?
Hey, we went to the planetarium. I don't know why am I even talking about this. I took the kids to the planetarium the other day, and it brought back memories of going and watching the Dark Side of the Moon laser light show.
Oh,
Did you ever do that?
If you ain't been high at Dark Side of the Moon, what are you talking about?
They still do it, by the way. They still do that.
You know why? Because 18-year-olds are always want to go forever. Like, I don't know where music's going, but 18-year-olds are always going to want to get high and listen to Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd rocks. I still listen to Pink Floyd. I love them.
I hadn't dabbled in it in a minute.
Oh, I mess with some Pink Floyd now. Don't get it twisted.
I ain't dabbled with no Pink Floyd in a minute. But
I like me some Pink Floyd. Animals, that's an underrated album.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Anyway, if you want to go see Wicked for good, you should, right?
Yes. It's going to be one of the biggest. Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. It'll probably do huge numbers this weekend and over the Thanksgiving holiday. So we got our tickets.
All right. Well, hey, I hope you enjoy it. Report back to me. Let me know.
Man.
I mean, I'm either going to skip everything or I'm going to go back and watch the first Wicked, and then I'm going to go see the second Wicked.
I would do that. I would just do that just because. Even if you don't plan on going to see the second one, I would still watch the first one because, like, everybody's seen it.
Hey, I know my sons want to go see Wicked for good, so I should. Here's what I should do.
There you go.
I should download the first Wicked.
Yes.
Watch it on my flight home tomorrow.
I think it's on Peacock. I think you can watch it for free.
Peacock.
Yeah.
Watch it on my flight home tomorrow, and then get home, and then hug my children and say, hey guys, y'all want to go see Wicked for good? That's what I should do, isn't it?
That'd be really nice of you. Yes.
With or without acid.
Probably without. I can't imagine being in a packed movie theater. That sounds really scary.
I think without.
Yeah, that sounds extremely scary. Yeah, I would not recommend at all.
I wouldn't recommend it all either.
No.
I wouldn't recommend it all either. It's so long. It's just a long time. Like who even has time?
I don't know. Like
who even has time for that?
No, I don't. Not adults. That's for sure.
I mean, you gotta have a real time commitment.
Yeah.
That's you gotta basically just carve out a whole day. Who has time for it?
No one.
I'm going sober. If I go, I'm going sober.
Good.
Wicked for good. I'm gonna see it sober. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Calling all collectors! Topps NBA basketball trading cards are back. It's available in the Grizzlies Den by Fanatics and online at Topps.com. Rip into bold color parallels, electric inserts, relics, and autographed cards from today's biggest stars and the next-gen talent. Look out for rookie cards of Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, plus Grizzlies favorites John Morant, Jalen Wells, and so many more. You don't want to miss this drop. Grab your set before it's gone.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of over $550,000 in free play and a brand new Lincoln. Here Comes Santa takes flight on Saturday, November 1st, when you can begin earning entries. And don't forget the grand finale drawings on Saturday, November 29th and Saturday, December 27th to win a share of over $40,000 in free play or a brand new Lincoln. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
The next Michelob Ultra Watch Party. It's Saturday, tomorrow, November 22nd at Slider in downtown. That's when the Grizzlies take on the Dallas Mavericks at 7:30 p.m. Check the schedule and keep up with the Grizzlies watch parties. Pop it up around Memphis at grizzlies.com/watch party. Grizzlies.com/watch party. But again, the next one tomorrow, Saturday, November 22nd at Slider in downtown. Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
You know, we talked about Memphis, Purdue. We touched on Wake Forest, Texas Tech. And we tried to get you ready for what is a high-stakes game, like a really needed game for both Wake Forest and Memphis. But the championship game of the Baja Mar Championship, that's actually going to be the only top 15 matchup in college basketball all weekend. 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central tonight on CBS Sports Network. It's Purdue against Texas Tech. You get the reigning Big Ten Player of the Year on one side, Braden Smith. The reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, JT Toppin, on the other. So if you're looking for a high-profile basketball game to watch today, don't turn us off on CBS Sports Network. Once Memphis and Wake Forest are done, we got a top 15 matchup closing out the night. Wake Forest, it'll be Purdue and Texas Tech. That's number 1 Purdue against number 15 Texas Tech. It'll keep me up late tonight in studio here in New York City.
What's today's biggest game?
You know what? Let's go college basketball. And you want to focus on a couple of our old friends?
Sure. How about turning the mic on? Yes.
Louisville.
Okay.
Number 6 Louisville is playing at Cincinnati. It's our old friends Louisville and our old friends Cincinnati. They've gone off and they've left us. They've left us for better pastures. Now Louisville's in the ACC and Cincinnati's in the Big 12. We're still stuck in the American, never winning it. We're still stuck here in the American, never winning it.
Where are we at tonight?
Cincinnati, Heritage Bank Center. Louisville's an 8.5-point favorite. Totals 164.5. How you going to act?
Oh, this feels like funny business. A little bit.
Louisville, big favorite on the road against an undefeated Cincinnati team.
I mean, I feel like I got to go Bearcats here.
You want that home underdog on a Friday night.
What has Cincinnati done so far to get to 4-0? Oh, not much.
Beating 4 bad teams.
They haven't done much.
They haven't done much. Louisville's, of course, got the big win over Kentucky in that game. Their 5-star freshman, Michael Brown, who is, in some people's eyes, a projected top 5 pick, went for 29 points. He has been awesome.
It's a rivalry game.
It is a rivalry game.
Rivalry renewed.
Rivalry renewed.
I'll take the Bearcats to cover.
Big Bet Bennett says take Cincinnati plus the 8.5. Tip is at 5:30 Central. You can watch it on ESPN2.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, let's focus on that Todd Snyder documentary I touched on with JB in the first hour. As I told you, I was just like looking at Facebook and this post popped up. It's from this guy named Otis Gibbs, who I don't follow, don't know, unfamiliar with his work, but it seems like he's a New York-based, filmmaker. And he and a buddy had decided to follow Todd Snyder around Memphis. Here, I'm just going to read you what he posted on Facebook, and then he left a link to the documentary. And I don't know. I don't think you even have to like Todd Snyder to, as a Memphian, appreciate this.
Okay.
Here's what this person wrote. Again, his name's Otis Gibbs. He wrote, a couple of years ago, my buddy Todd Fox and I followed Todd Snyder around Memphis. It was pretty much a homecoming for him, and it seemed like a good chance to make a documentary. In the spirit of less blank, the whole thing was held together with duct tape, chewing gum, and good intentions. Todd Fox and I filmed everything in 3 days on cheap cameras and zero budget. I spent about $80 a night at a Motel 6. We ate at Waffle House. I spent about 2 weeks editing it together, and then it was done. And Todd kept asking me if I thought anybody would watch it. Fair question. The film world is full of talented NYU film school graduates with trust funds and famous last names who never managed to find anywhere to show their films. But that ain't us. I told Todd, we're buskers standing on the street corner. We don't need some big company to give us permission to make art. We'll just make it, take it directly to the people, and that's what we did. I knew that we could get maybe 20,000 people to watch it if I just put it on my YouTube channel. Imagine how many movie theaters you would need to find seats for that many people. It might take a year or two, but people will watch this and then recommend it to a friend. Todd was really excited about the idea of just making stuff and just putting it out into the world, warts and all. So that's what we did. We put a message in a bottle and we threw it into the proverbial ocean to see if anyone might find it. The people have now found it. The point of all this is our film reached 100,000 views last night. And I know Todd would be really proud of that. I know I am. Like I said before, the entire film was shot by me and my buddy Todd Fox. I'll put a link in the comments down below so you can watch it for free. Thanks for giving a damn. Otis. So I had never stumbled into this as much of a Todd Snyder fan as I was, but obviously with his untimely passing at the age of 59 last week, under circumstances that are still just kind of weird, he died of pneumonia and complications of sepsis is the way it's being reported, but the whole last month of his life was really weird and sad. I had never stumbled into this, but I guess because I'd consumed so much Todd Snyder stuff over the past week, Facebook just sort of put it right in front of me when I logged on. And the documentary's 54 minutes. And last night as I was prepping for this and the Eye on College Basketball podcast, I just sort of put it on the iPod in the bed next to me and, you know, watched it sort of out of the side of my eye. And I know that, this is the point I made with Jess, that Memphians like people who like Memphis. Like, we like it. We get really mad when people say bad things about Memphis, and we love it when people say good things about Memphis. Something as simple as, who's the famous weatherman from the Today Show?
Al Roker.
Al Roker, you might remember, was just like walking through our new redone airport within the past few years and just sort of went live on Instagram or wherever, and he was like, man, the Memphis airport is amazing. And then we all were just like, man, isn't that cool that Al Roker just thinks the Memphis airport is amazing? Man, I love Al Roker. We just like it when people like us because so often people don't. And if you watch this, you'll just have an undeniable sense for the love that Todd Snyder had for Memphis. You know, he wasn't from here. He was raised in Oregon, moved to Texas. And as he tells the story, his father and his brother were both working construction in Memphis. And his father, in a bar, met somebody who said something like this. You know, you ever heard of Keith Sykes? And he's like, yeah, of course I've heard of Keith Sykes, famous singer-songwriter. And he's like, and the woman was like, my sister is married to him. And Todd's dad knew that Todd loved Keith Sykes. And Todd's dad is like, hey, I just met a woman and like her sister is married to Keith Sykes. And Todd was like, that's all I needed to hear. I'm going to Memphis because now I got a connection to Keith Sykes. And he came here and he met Keith Sykes, and Keith Sykes helped launch his career. And I don't know, it was just sweet. 54 minutes last night, and I just couldn't help but go, here's a man who loves Memphis. We want so badly people to reminisce positively about their time in Memphis. Like, we don't like it when Chandler Parsons is on TV saying, I lived in Memphis and it sucked. Nobody wants to hear that. So here's somebody who says, I lived in Memphis and it was awesome. It was amazing. And then he's coming back just to help a local radio station that needs some help and see old friends. I just thought the whole thing was sweet. He loved Memphis, and you can tell that in this documentary. So whether you are a Todd Snyder fan or not, love the music or not, I think you can enjoy this for what it was. Low-budget documentary, 54 minutes, about a former Memphian coming back to Memphis and just to see some old friends and enjoy a weekend. It is on YouTube. You can search it. It's like under the title Todd Snyder documentary, I Was a Nervous Wreck. So if you just search for that, Todd Snyder documentary, I Was a Nervous Wreck, probably just search for Otis Gibbs. It'll pop right up. I think you'll enjoy it.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at ESPN.com, our buddy Tim Bontemps has got a piece up on the homepage titled, What I'm Hearing About All 30 Teams in the NBA. So if you want to know what Tim Bontemps is hearing about the Grizzlies, you can go read that. I don't want to end the show on a sour note, so I'm not even going to repeat it, all right? I'm not even going to repeat to you what Tim Bontemps is hearing about the Grizzlies, because I don't want to end the show like that. Good. But if you want to know what Tim Bontemps is hearing about the Grizzlies, you can go to ESPN.com and read about it, and maybe we'll talk about it some other day.
What's going on this weekend?
Oh, man, there's a lot going on this weekend. Grizzlies get the Mavericks tomorrow night. Tigers get Wake Forest today. We got a big NFL Sunday. Tons to talk about on Monday. Can't wait to get back in studio in Memphis. I'll see you bright and early. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to try to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good.